The SAVE Act is voter suppression. I came across a video with Tammy Faye Baker, Erica Kirk, the fake-ass Christian white grifter, right? Oh, please, buy some merch. I need more money. I'm only worth $12 million. You know, her, the fake-ass Christian with her gold cross. And the guy's asking her about this Save America Act. Well, if you want to save America, then actually save America. And the gentleman said, you know, we have less than 200 instances of voter fraud. You're creating a solution for a problem that really doesn't exist, because it doesn't. Out of 340 million people, that's not the problem. And she said, well, so aren't you against any voter fraud? Cool, so let's go with that for a second. So the rapist white supremacist that you voted for, Tammy Faye Baker, asked for Georgia to find over 10,000 votes so he can overturn an election. What did Jesus say about that, Erica? It's funny how Jesus never talks to you only when you want to believe something. Are you going to make a post about that? How you should hold the president accountable? How he should be a person of faith? Nope, you won't do that. Cool. He just signed an executive order to prohibit or limit mail-in voting, and yet he just voted via mail in Florida. Oh, are you going to make a video about that? Is Jesus going to come down and talk to you about that? No, not those instances. Huh. It's fascinating how you only weaponize God when it benefits you. But I digress. So let's talk about your response and the response to the SAVE Act, where, well, don't you agree there should be no voter fraud at all? Sure. I'd like 14 million kids not to go to school hungry, but here we are. So let's look at gun violence in 2025. 38,818 people died from guns. You know, from the guy that your husband said, I think dead Americans is worth the cost of a Second Amendment. That guy, your pro-life, fake-ass Christian husband. Between the ages of 0 and 11, 226 children died from gun violence. From the ages of 12 to 17, 1,038. Let's go back just one more year to 2024. 41,056 people died from gun violence. Mass shootings, 502. Ages 0 to 11, 751. Ages 12 to 17, 1,188. So, hey, I'm just going by your words, because the SAVE Act isn't about voter fraud. You said, don't you even want to stop less than 200 instances of voter fraud? Don't you want to stop over 78,000 instances of gun violence? The number one cause of death, and yet Jesus doesn't tell you to do a damn thing about gun violence. Unless it personally affects you, right, Tammy Faye Baker? Then that's different. See, that's the problem. You actually don't give a shit about the solution. What the SAVE Act is, it is an attempt to try and overturn the midterms. That's it. This is about white supremacy. And for people that follow me, I'm sorry, but this is what it is. They are scared to death of diversity. Whether you're queer or gay or transgender or Somalian or black or an immigrant, it is terrifying these white people. There's a reason that Christians and Tammy Faye Bakers of the world don't want to talk about this. Because they know that their 6 teeth, 3 brain cell base don't give a damn about lives. They care about a gun. They don't care about solving solutions. They care about creating problems. What they do is they go out in the world and they look at a million different tweets and a million different videos, and they find the one thing that is so insignificant, but their base is so stupid, they take an anecdotal piece of information and run with it. 2020 election, the president still hasn't conceded the election, and yet not one of you fake-ass Christians, you know, American patriots, have said a damn thing about it. Why is that? I thought you're for law and order. I thought you want free and fair elections. Literally, 4 officers committed suicide after January 6th. 4. 1 died the next day. Michael Fanone had a heart attack. Where are you at, Tammy Faye Baker? I don't hear it. Oh, Jesus didn't tell you to stand up for the cops that died? What about their families, Erica Kirk? But you made $200,000 in merch. That's what this is about. This is indoctrination through white Christianity. It is an attempt to hold on to the white patriarchy. LBJ said that this country will vote for the most morally bankrupt, incompetent, bumbling idiot, convicted felon, rapist, white supremacist that cheats on his wife with a porn star, white man, over the most qualified black woman. And that's what this is. And they're petrified that their white patriarchy is crumbling to the ground. That's what this is. This is very, 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 very simple. Remove the log from your eye before you see the speck in your brother's. But what these fake-ass Christians do is go around seeing the speck in everybody else's eye. They want to play God, not follow God. Do you think, Erica, that God would be worried about 41,056 and 38,818 gun deaths? Or less than 200 cases of voter fraud? So let me ask you a question, Tammy Faye Baker. Why is it that you care more about less than 200 alleged people that voted illegally, more than the almost 80,000 people that died from gun violence, or the 5 officers that died after January 6th, or the 1,500 women that were victims of Epstein Island, and the president that you support, that you lick his boots because he's a white man, is literally refusing to release the Epstein files, where it's probably going to show that he molested little girls? Why is that? Just curious. Because Republicans don't actually care about making this country better. They would rather point out the problems and not fix a damn thing, which is why we don't have universal health care, which is why we have gun violence, which is why we lead the world in incarcerations, which is why they won't do a damn thing about 800,000 homeless, or 14 million kids who go to school hungry, or 2/3 of this country that live paycheck to paycheck, or 42 million people that need government assistance just to eat. They won't do a damn thing to actually solve any problems, but they'll spend their whole miserable, pathetic lives being the victim of something, which in part is why we got the dumbass in the White House. Because they don't want to take responsibility for their shitty life, for their 6 teeth and their dirty clothes and living in a trailer and dating their sisters and marrying their cousins and not having health care and being dependent upon the government. They don't actually want to solve the problem. They want to bitch and moan about their shitty life and blame the libtards and blame the brown people. 3 people own half the wealth in this country. 3. Elon Musk is worth $650 billion. But the white supremacist in the White House, who takes a shit in a gold toilet, who has his own airplane, who has golf courses and hotels with his name on it, and is worth over $1 billion, convinced you that people coming from Mexico that aren't white are the problem. That's why we're here. It's white supremacy. It always has been, and it always will be. And white supremacy is white Christian nationalism with the gold cross. This is very, very, very simple. It's about damn time that we confronted white Christian nationalism head on. It is not Christianity. They are religious Pharisees, religious hypocrites that will only use the Bible and Scripture when it benefits them financially and politically. Have a good day.